Hi, this is Mr. Langley. Today I'd like to talk to you about Chromebook Care. So as we start off, one of the things we want to look at first is, what do I need to do to clean up my Chromebook? Your best option for doing that is use glass cleaner with a soft cloth. And when we do that, you want to make sure that you spray the cloth first, then use the cloth to wipe down the screen. Same thing with the keyboard. If your Chromebook turns on, just hold the power button, turn it off. Spray that cleaner directly onto that soft cloth and then wipe down the keyboard. That way you know that we don't have to worry about that excess liquid getting down into the systems and shorting anything out and damaging it. So again, spray it onto a cloth first and then wipe down the Chromebook and you'll be just fine. And remember, anything that you use to clean your smartphone is probably just fine to use for your Chromebook. So glass cleaner works best, but if it is a cleaner that you can use on your smartphone, it will work as well. Next thing we want to look at is making sure that you do have your Chromebook ready to go when it's time for school. So make sure that before you go to bed, plug in your Chromebook. While you recharge, your Chromebook needs to recharge. And for safety's sake, make sure you unplug that Chromebook before you move it. That way you don't hurt yourself or damage the Chromebook. We also want to caution everybody that we want to make sure that you do not leave your Chromebook laying on the floor, whether it's in your room, next to your desk, home or school, or on the bus or anything like that. If it's laying on the floor, there's always that possibility that somebody's going to step on it, and then that would damage the screen as well. So we want to be very careful with that. We also want to caution everybody that Chromebooks are not designed to be taken into restrooms or locker rooms. Anywhere where there's water around, that makes Mr. Squires and myself very nervous, so we would prefer that you do not have your Chromebook in the restroom or in the locker room. When you're walking with your Chromebook, we want to make sure it is a walk. Do not run with your Chromebook. That way we're safe. And the best way to carry that Chromebook is closed. So if you're walking with it like it's a book or notebook, that's fine, or in your backpack. One of the things that we want to also caution, if you're moving your Chromebook, best way to move it, if I'm moving it from one desk to another or table to another, is to hold it by the base. Okay, make sure that you are holding it by the base. Okay, we have seen some instances where somebody has grabbed it and they've held it and picked it up just by the screen or by the top just by the screen. Keep in mind that's going to cause a pressure point, and we'll see that in just a moment what that looks like. That'll damage the screen and make the screen no good. So be very careful with that. In addition to that, make sure that you're not sitting anything on top of it. So if you have school books or anything like that, do not sit them on top of the Chromebook because that weight could damage the Chromebook, so we want to be careful there. And in addition, when you put it in your backpack, I have my backpack handy right here. The best thing to do is make sure that that bottom of the Chromebook is facing toward your back. So when you put your backpack on, your back will be pushing against the bottom of the Chromebook. It should be durable enough that that typically would not be an issue, but that's the safest way to make sure that your Chromebook is going to be okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what happens. And you can see the shot that's right next to me, it's actually right here, has a little spot on the screen where it's been damaged. And you can see how it spider webs. So we want to be careful. Again, make sure that you're not picking it up by the screen. Those little damages on the screen can also happen if I close the lid while I have something in there. So if I have something on there and I close the lid, that can also put pressure on that LED and it can damage it and then spider web across and make that screen useless. The other thing that we want to watch for is even paper with a staple. Those staples can cause damage. They can make a little indentation on the LED and break it, and then you'll see that spider web across the screen and damage it. So anytime that you are going to close your lid on your Chromebook, make sure there is nothing in between it. Close it nice and tight down and it's all good to go. We also want to be careful. Anything that we are plugging into the Chromebook, whether it's headphones, the charger, a USB flash drive. We want to make sure that we take our time and insert it slowly. If there is resistance, we want to double check and make sure we're putting it in the right port. If it's not fitting, then we don't want to force it. We want to double check we're in the right place. Okay, and then take your time plugging it in. And then obviously take your time when you're unplugging to make sure that everything's okay as well. We also want to caution, no matter how refined you think you are, food and drinks are not allowed near the Chromebook. If you are at home in a situation where you can have a snack, the best way to do that is to have the Chromebook sitting on your desk and then maybe have a TV tray off to the side where it's out of the way. You can have a little snack over there or drink, turn away from the Chromebook to have your snack or drink, and then back to the Chromebook to use it. The other thing I want to caution you, if it's finger food, definitely make sure you wash your hands before you start using your Chromebook again. Okay, so keep your food separate from your Chromebook. TV tray is a different table. That way, if anything spills, it's not going to get on the Chromebook. And if it's finger food, make sure you're washing your hands really well before you use your Chromebook again. Remember, it's not a plate. We don't want any crumbs getting down inside the keyboard and messing it up. Finally, if there are any damages to your Chromebook, we need to make sure those are reported as soon as possible, and make sure that when you bring it in to trade for a loaner, that you bring in all the parts and pieces. So make sure the power adapter cords and all that stuff come in with the Chromebook. That way, when Mr. Squires takes a look at it, he can get everything assessed, and then he can get it back to you after he has it fixed. We also want to make sure that you are not trying to repair your Chromebook yourself. It might be an easy fix that Mr. Squires can take care of, but if you try to fix it on your own and you accidentally damage it more, that's going to cause some more problems and take a little bit longer for Mr. Squires to take care of it. So leave all those repairs to Mr. Squires, let him take care of those, and we should be good. If you do have any questions about your Chromebook not working, definitely contact Mr. Squires. If you have any questions about how do I do this, feel free to contact me, Mr. Langley, and we'll take care of you. Thank you.